From refuse to revolution, the massive alien vessel descended through Earth's atmosphere like a wounded leviathan, its hull scared and pitted from countless journeys across the stars. Commander Elena Reyes watched from the observation deck of Orbital Station Prometheus as the ship's massive cargo doors yawned open. A cascade of twisted metal, shattered components, and technological debris tumbled out, joining the floating field of junk that perpetually orbited Earth. "Another delivery from our benevolent cosmic neighbors," she muttered, taking a sip from her coffee mug. "Third one this month." Beside her, Dr. Kai Zhang nodded grimly. The astrophysicist had been studying the alien trash drops since they began 5 years ago, shortly after humanity achieved its first faster-than-light jump and discovered, to their shock, that they were far from alone in the universe. "The consortium's generosity knows no bounds," Kai replied, his voice dripping with sarcasm. When humans first ventured beyond their solar system, they'd been greeted not with diplomatic envoys or cultural exchanges, but with a formal declaration designating Earth as Disposal Zone 419. Humanity wasn't invited to join the galactic consortium as equals. Instead, they were assigned their place at the very bottom of the cosmic hierarchy. Janitors, waste managers, the garbage collectors of more advanced civilizations. Elena keyed her comm. "Salvage teams Alpha through Delta prepare for collection operations, standard protocols." The reality of their situation had been a bitter pill to swallow. Humanity had dreamed of the stars for centuries, only to discover they were viewed as little more than convenient custodians of unwanted technological refuse. But Commander Reyes had long suspected there was more to these trash deliveries than mere disposal. 3 hours later, Elena stood in the station's primary sorting facility, a cavernous chamber filled with conveyor belts and scanning equipment. The salvage teams had brought in the first loads from the recent drop, and sorting specialists moved efficiently among the debris, categorizing and processing. "Commander," called Lucas Okafor, the station's head of materials analysis. "You're going to want to see this." Elena made her way through the busy facility to where Lucas stood at his workstation. On the table before him lay what appeared to be a perfect hexagon of dark metal, about the size of his palm. Its surface was unmarked except for faint, pulsing lines of deep blue that seemed to move beneath the surface like veins. "What am I looking at?" Elena asked. "That's just it," Lucas replied, excitement evident in his voice. "I have no idea. It's not in any of our material databases. It's not giving off any radiation our sensors can detect. But—" he paused, picking up the object carefully. "Listen." He held it close to Elena's ear. At first, she heard nothing, but then, a subtle vibration, almost below the threshold of hearing. A whisper. "There's another strange thing," Lucas continued. "This is the 5th one we've found in the last 3 drops. All identical, all from different alien species ships." Elena's eyes narrowed. "Different species?" "Yes, this one came from a Vexor transport. Last month we found one in Thrali waste. Before that, Corellian, Ashinar, and Mevik. 5 major species in the consortium, all accidentally dumping identical, unknown technology on Earth. That was no coincidence." "Tag these as classified," Elena ordered. "Create a new category. Call them Whispers. And Lucas, tell no one outside our immediate team." As Lucas secured the hexagonal component, Elena's comm chimed with an incoming message from station security. "Commander," came the voice of Security Chief Dante Rivera. "We've detected an unauthorized shuttle approaching Docking Bay 7. It's emitting no identification signals." "Lock it down," Elena ordered. "Security teams to level 7. I'm on my way." By the time Elena reached the docking bay, Dante and his team had surrounded the small, sleek shuttle. It was unlike any design she'd seen before, smooth, with no visible seams or propulsion systems. As she approached, a section of the hull simply dissolved, revealing a tall, slender figure. The alien that emerged had iridescent blue-green skin and 4 arms. It wore no insignia or markings of any known consortium species. Its large, multifaceted eyes scanned the security team before settling on Elena. "Commander Reyes," it said in perfect, unaccented English, "I am Salian. We must speak urgently and privately." Elena studied the alien carefully. "How do you know my name? And why should I trust you?" "Because," Xalian replied, "I know about the whispers you found, and I can tell you what they are, and why certain factions of the consortium don't want you to have them." After a thorough security scan revealed no weapons, Elena agreed to meet with the visitor in a secure conference room. Only Kai and Dant joined them. "You've been collecting the whisper cores," Xalian said without preamble once they were alone. "Hexagonal devices, dark metal with blue energy patterns." Elena kept her face expressionless. "I don't know what you're talking about." Xalian made a sound like gentle bells. Laughter, Elena guessed. "Please, Commander. I helped design the delivery schedule. 5 components so far from 5 different species. The next 2 will arrive within the month, disguised within hegemony and Drell waste shipments. Why would anyone deliberately hide advanced technology in our garbage?" Kai asked. "Politics," Xalian replied simply. "The consortium is not the unified body it presents itself as. Some of us believe humanity has potential that should be nurtured. Others fear that potential and work to suppress it. The trash designation," Elena realized. "Keep humans busy sorting garbage while limiting our access to truly advanced technology." "Precisely," Xalian confirmed. "Earth's designation as a disposal zone was no accident. It was a calculated move by the dominant factions to ensure humanity remained technologically stunted while still providing a useful service." "But you disagree with this approach," Dant said, his voice heavy with suspicion. "I and others like me believe in balance," Xalian explained. "For too long, the founding species have kept the younger races submissive. Perhaps it is time for that to change." Elena leaned forward. "What exactly are these whisper cores?" "They are components of a system that operates on principles your scientists haven't discovered yet," Xalian explained. "They detect and manipulate what we call the void current, the underlying fabric of subspace that enables FTL travel. When properly assembled, they form a network that can hear ship movements across vast distances, see through cloaking fields, and detect communications thought to be secure." "A surveillance system," Dant said. "Much more than that," Xalian corrected. "The whisper cores were banned by the consortium centuries ago because, properly configured, they don't just detect ripples in subspace. They can move through it in ways that are undetectable by conventional means." "You're talking about stealth technology," Elena said, her mind racing with possibilities. "I'm talking about a ship that could move like a shadow between stars," Xalian replied. "Invisible, silent, untraceable. The consortium fears such technology in the hands of lesser species, which is precisely why you should have it." "Why would you help us?" Kai asked. "What do you get out of this?" Xalian's multifaceted eyes seemed to dim slightly. "My people were once like yours, new to the stars, full of potential. The consortium guided our development, limited us, shaped us into what they wanted us to be. After millennia of service, we've become little more than administrative drones for the elder species. I would spare humanity that fate." The alien removed a small crystalline device from a hidden pocket and placed it on the table. "This contains location data for the remaining whisper cores hidden in upcoming deliveries. It also includes basic assembly instructions." "Why should we trust you?" Elena asked, though her hand was already reaching for the crystal. "You shouldn't," Xalian answered simply. "Verify my claims. Study the components you've already collected. Your Dr. Zhang is already seeing patterns in the delivery schedule. Trust that, if nothing else." After Xalian departed, Elena sat alone in the conference room for a long time, turning the data crystal over in her hands, thinking about whispers in the dark and garbage that might save humanity. That night, She called her most trusted officers to a secure meeting in the station's maintenance level, in a section shielded from surveillance. From now on, she told them, displaying the crystal and explaining her meeting with Zalian, we have a new priority. Every delivery gets thoroughly scanned for these Whisper Core components. If what this alien says is true, Danta warned, we're talking about building something the consortium explicitly forbids. They already see us as trash collectors, Kai pointed out. Maybe it's time to show them what humans can build from garbage. Elena looked around at her team. The choice is yours. This could be dangerous, for all of us. Lucas picked up one of the hexagonal devices they'd collected, watching the blue light pulse across its surface. Danger never stopped humans before. I say we build this thing and see what whispers we can hear. One by one, they all nodded in agreement. In the darkness of space around them, more alien ships were already approaching, their holds full of trash, and hidden within, pieces of a weapon that would change the fate of Earth forever. 6 weeks later, Elena stood in a hidden facility deep within asteroid JV-117, a large, hollow rock that had once been an abandoned mining operation. Now it served a new purpose. How's it coming along? She asked as she approached Lucas, who was carefully installing another Whisper Core into an intricate arrangement. 17 hexagonal components now formed a complex pattern across the chamber floor, each connected to others with thin beams of blue light. They're synchronizing, Lucas said, wiping sweat from his forehead. It's like they recognize each other, want to be together. The data crystal from Zalian had led them to more of the Whisper Cores hidden in trash deliveries. Each new piece they added made the network more powerful. And what exactly is it doing? Elena asked. Lucas shrugged. That's still Kai's department. All I know is it's creating some kind of field that extends far beyond this asteroid. In another section of the facility, Kai stared at screens filled with data. Behind him, a wall displayed a three-dimensional map of nearby space, with small dots of light moving across it. Look at this, he said as Elena entered the room. Standard consortium patrol ships that pass through our system every week. Kai tapped a few keys, and suddenly new dots appeared on the screen. Smaller, fainter. And these are ships that shouldn't be there at all. Elena's eyes widened. Cloaked vessels. The Whisper Core network can see them. Kai nodded. It's detecting ripples in the void current, the subspace layer ships use for faster-than-light travel. Nothing can move through it without creating ripples, and the Whisper Core network detects those ripples. Like seeing the wake of an invisible boat, Elena murmured. Exactly. And it gets better. Kai zoomed the display out to show a much larger area of space. We're picking up echoes from as far as the Orion Arm. The network hears every whisper between the stars. Admiral Sora Chen was not easily impressed. As the highest-ranking officer in Earth's defense forces, she had seen her share of scientific breakthroughs. But what Elena showed her that day made even her stern face show surprise. You built this from alien garbage, she asked, walking around the Whisper Core network that now filled the asteroid chamber. Yes, Admiral, Elena replied, with help from an alien informant. And you trust this Zalian? I trust what I can verify, Elena answered. The network works. It sees what our sensors can't. It hears what no one else can hear. Admiral Chen stopped walking and faced Elena directly. Do you understand what you've done, Commander? You've built an intelligence-gathering system beyond anything the consortium has allowed us to have. If they find out, they'll destroy it, Elena finished, and possibly us along with it. But we need to know what's happening out there. Zalian wasn't wrong about one thing. The consortium members don't all have our best interests at heart. After a long moment, Admiral Chen nodded. This operation is now classified under Umbra Protocol, official military support with complete deniability. 1 week later, Dant sat alone in his security office on Prometheus Station, reviewing footage from a consortium inspection ship that had visited that morning. The mantis-like aliens had spent hours searching the station, claiming they were conducting routine compliance checks. They had found nothing, of course. All the Whisper core components had been moved to the asteroid base weeks ago. But the timing of the inspection worried Dante. His computer chimed with a secure message from one of his sources in Earth's diplomatic corps. Consortium requesting permission for expanded military exercises near Jupiter. Unprecedented fleet size proposed. Dante frowned. Why would the consortium need military exercises in Earth's solar system? And why now? They're probing our defenses, Alina said during the next team meeting at the asteroid base. Dante's report confirms they're suspicious, but they don't know about this place. The inspection team found nothing, Kai pointed out. Maybe not, Lucas added, but they're not stupid. They've delivered this tech to us piece by piece. They must suspect we're doing something with it. Kai brought up the space map, now showing a large collection of dots near Jupiter. Consortium ships are gathering for exercises, but the Whisper core network is picking up unusual communication patterns between them. They're searching for something. Elena turned to the newest addition to their team, Dr. Maya Patel, a linguistics expert who had been analyzing the alien communications captured by the Whisper core network. Any progress decoding their secure channels? She asked. Maya pushed her glasses up. The consortium species use different languages, but I found patterns in their communications. They keep referring to something called protocol silence, and they're specifically looking for technology signatures that match our Whisper core network. The room fell quiet. So they know, Kai said finally. Belina shook her head. They suspect, but they don't know. If they knew, they'd have come directly here. What do we do? Lucas asked. We keep building, Elena decided. But we need to be smarter about it. Kai, can you find a way to mask the network's energy signature? Kai thought for a moment. The Whisper cores absorb energy rather than emit it. That's why they look dark. If we build a proper housing for the network, we might be able to contain what little emissions there are. Do it, Elena ordered. And Lucas, it's time to think bigger than just a detection system. Lucas raised an eyebrow. What do you mean? Elena walked to the center of the room where a holographic projector showed the growing Whisper core network. Xalien's data suggested the components were originally designed for a ship, not just a detection system, but the core of a vessel that could move through space undetected. A stealth ship? Dante asked skeptically. More than stealth, Elena explained. The Whisper cores don't just detect ripples in the void current. Properly configured, they might be able to manipulate those ripples. Maya looked up from her console. Commander, I just decoded more of their communications. They're not just searching. They're preparing something called Containment Protocol for Earth. Elena's face hardened. Then we don't have much time. Admiral Chen needs to see this. Later that night, as the rest of the team slept, Elena stood alone in the chamber with the Whisper core network. The hexagonal nodes pulsed with blue light, creating patterns like stars in a private galaxy. She placed her hand near one of the nodes, and the blue light seemed to reach for her, bending toward her fingers without quite touching them. What are you? She whispered. As if in response, the lights pulsed faster, and for just a moment, Elena thought she heard something. A sound just at the edge of hearing. Not words exactly, but a presence. The next day, the consortium announced expanded military exercises near Jupiter, beginning the following week. Most humans paid little attention. Consortium ships had become a common sight in the solar system. But at the hidden asteroid base, Dante watched the announcement with narrowed eyes. Military exercises don't require 67 ships, he said, studying the data from the Whisper core network. Belina nodded grimly. And they don't need vessels designed for planetary assault. The Whisper core network had grown powerful enough to identify ship types based on their subspace ripples. What the consortium claimed were routine exercise vessels were actually invasion craft. How much longer until we're ready? Elena asked, turning to Lucas and Kai. The two exchanged glances before Lucas spoke. The frame is almost complete, but we still need the core components for the propulsion system. Xalien's data mentions specialized drive units, Kai added. They should be in the next garbage delivery, if the consortium doesn't cancel it. Alina's communicator beeped. Commander, there's a message from Admiral Chen. Priority 1. An hour later, Alina met with her core team. Her face was grim. Earth governments have enacted the Umbra protocol, she announced. All defense forces are on high alert. The consortium's exercises have been recognized as the threat they are. About time, Dante muttered. What does this mean for us? Kai asked. It means we get full resources, Alina said. And a deadline. We have 7 days to make this ship operational. 7 days. Lucas sputtered. Commander, that's impossible. We've barely finished the outer hull. Earth doesn't have longer than that, Alina replied firmly. Admiral Chen has seen the latest Whisper Core network data. There's a massive fleet assembly happening beyond Neptune. The ships near Jupiter are just the advanced force. The room fell silent as the reality of the situation sank in. We'll need more people, Maya said finally. Alina nodded. Each of you, pick your best 3 people from Prometheus Station. People you trust completely. We bring them here tonight. Shadows between stars. 3 days later, the asteroid base hummed with activity. 27 people now worked around the clock, assembling what had once been trash into humanity's most advanced vessel. In the main construction bay, the ship was taking form. It was unlike any human craft. Sleek and black, its hull seemed to drink in light rather than reflect it. The shape was oddly organic, like a predator from the deep ocean. Lucas supervised a team mounting the last of the Whisper Cores into a spherical chamber at the heart of the vessel. Careful with that, he shouted as a technician nearly dropped one of the hexagonal devices. Each one is irreplaceable. Nearby, Kai and Maya worked on integrating their findings into the ship's systems. The Whisper Core network isn't just a detection system, Kai explained to Alina as she checked on their progress. It's a way to move through subspace differently than normal ships. Different how? Alina asked. Maya looked up from her computer. Normal ships punch through into subspace, creating those ripples we detect. But these Whisper Cores, they slip between the layers of reality like a ghost passing through a wall. A ghost ship, Alina mused. More like a shadow, Kai corrected. It moves through the dark places between stars without disturbing them. That's why the consortium banned this technology. A ship like this could go anywhere, hear anything, and never be detected, unless you know exactly what to listen for. On the 5th day, the garbage delivery they were waiting for finally arrived at Prometheus Station. Dante personally supervised the collection and sorting, finding the drive components hidden among broken engine parts from a hegemony cruiser. By the time he returned to the asteroid, the consortium had announced that their exercises would be extended and expanded. They're stalling, Dante told Alina as they rushed the components to Lucas, waiting for their main fleet to get into position. Then we better hurry, Alina said grimly. On the 6th day, disaster nearly struck. A consortium scout ship changed course unexpectedly, heading directly toward their asteroid. They must have detected something, Dante said, watching the approaching dot on their screens. Shut down all systems, Alina ordered. Minimal life support only. The lights dimmed throughout the base as power was diverted away from non-essential systems. In the construction bay, work on the ship halted as everyone held their breath. On the command deck, Alina and her team watched in tense silence as the scout ship drew closer. It paused, hovering just 3 kilometers from the asteroid's surface. They're scanning us, Kai whispered. Minutes stretched into an eternity. Then, finally, the scout ship pivoted and resumed its original course. They're leaving, Dante confirmed, relief evident in his voice. That was too close, Alina said. We need to accelerate our timeline. The ship isn't ready, Lucas protested. Make it ready, Alina replied. We launch tomorrow. That night, as final preparations were made, Kai approached Alina with a concerned expression. "Commander, there's something you should know about the Whisper Cores," he said quietly. "They're responding to us. Not just operating as technology, but almost as if they're adapting to our presence." Elena remembered the sensation she'd felt when alone with the network, that sense of a presence just beyond hearing. "What are you saying, Kai?" "I'm saying that according to everything we know about physics, this technology shouldn't work. It's like the Whisper Cores are listening to us, anticipating our needs." He hesitated. "I think they might be partly organic, maybe even sentient." Before Elena could respond, alarms blared throughout the base. Multiple consortium ships changing course. Dant reported from his station. "They're heading to Earth with weapons signatures active." "It's starting," Elena said. "The containment protocol." Reports flooded in from across the solar system. Consortium ships were moving into position around Earth, Jupiter, and Mars. The Whisper Core network revealed the true scale of the operation: over 200 vessels, far more than had been publicly acknowledged. "They're boxing us in," Dant said grimly. Elena's communicator beeped with an incoming transmission from Admiral Chen. "Commander," the Admiral's voice was tight with tension. "The consortium has delivered an ultimatum. They claim we violated the Technology Restriction Treaty by developing prohibited weaponry. They're demanding we surrender all non-approved technology or face corrective action." "They're using our own work as an excuse to invade," Elena realized. "Their fleet will reach Earth in 6 hours," Chen continued. "Our defenses can't withstand that kind of firepower. Whatever you're building, Commander, we need it now." Elena looked around at her team, seeing the determination in their eyes. "We'll be ready, Admiral. Just buy us a little more time." As the communication ended, Elena turned to her team. "This is it. We launch in 2 hours. Lucas, Kai, whatever isn't finished, we'll have to complete in flight." "Commander," Lucas said, "we haven't even tested the propulsion system." "We'll test it when we fly," Elena replied. "Maya, you and Dante evacuate all non-essential personnel. The rest of us are going hunting." 2 hours later, the ship was ready, or as ready as it could be. From the outside, it resembled a sleek black arrowhead, its surface absorbing light so completely that it seemed to be a hole in space itself. Inside, the design was unlike any human vessel. The bridge was a spherical chamber with the Whisper Core network at its center, surrounded by workstations that seemed to grow organically from the floor. "What are we calling her?" Dante asked as they prepared for launch. Elena considered for a moment. "Umbra, the shadow that follows the light." The skeleton crew of 12 took their positions. Elena, Kai, Lucas, Dante, Maya, and 7 others. As they settled into their stations, the Whisper Cores began to pulse with blue light, their tempo increasing as if sensing the crew's intent. "Prepare for launch," Elena ordered. Asteroid bay doors opening. The massive doors of the hidden construction bay slid apart, revealing the star-filled void beyond. Umbra rose silently, gliding out of the asteroid base and into open space. "Propulsion systems online," Lucas reported. "All systems nominal." "Whisper Core network at full capacity," Kai added. "We're detecting every consortium ship in the system." Elena settled into the commander's chair at the center of the bridge. "Initiate shadow protocol." The blue lights of the Whisper Cores intensified, and a ripple of energy pulsed through the ship. On the view screens, the stars seemed to blur and shift, as if seen through dark water. "Did it work?" Elena asked. Kai checked his instruments. "According to our sensors, we've disappeared. We're no longer detectable in normal space. We're in the shadow realm," Maya said quietly, "moving between the layers of reality." Elena nodded. "Set course for Earth orbital space. Maximum speed." Umbra accelerated, but there was no sensation of movement. Instead, it was as if the universe itself was flowing around them, stars stretching and compressing in ways that defied conventional physics. "This is incredible," Kai breathed. "We're moving faster than any human ship has ever gone, But we're not creating any subspace distortion. We're not even leaving a wake, Lucas added. It's like we're not even here. As they approached Earth, the true scale of the consortium's fleet became apparent. Dozens of warships hung in orbit, their weapons trained on the planet below. Smaller craft darted between them, fighters and dropships preparing for the invasion. They're setting up a blockade, Dante observed, cutting off all outgoing traffic. Can they detect us? Elena asked. No, Kai replied. But the whisper cores are picking up everything. We can hear their communications, see their movements, even track their targeting systems. Elena studied the tactical display. We need to hit them hard and fast. Show them what we can do. But we're just one ship, Lucas protested. Even with this technology, we can't take on an entire fleet. We don't have to, Elena said with a smile. We just need to create confusion. Dante, prepare targeting solutions for their command vessels. Maya, are you ready to broadcast on all consortium frequencies? Ready. Commander, Maya confirmed. Good. Kai, position us directly behind their flagship. Lucas, bring weapons systems online. Umbra slipped silently through the consortium fleet, invisible to their sensors, a shadow passing unseen between stars. It took up position behind the massive command ship, a behemoth 4 times their size, bristling with weapons. In position, Kai reported. Weapons hot, Lucas added. Elena took a deep breath. Disengage shadow protocol. The blue light of the whisper cores pulsed, and Umbra snapped back into normal space, appearing as if from nowhere directly behind the consortium flagship. Fire, Elena ordered. Umbra's weapons, assembled from the garbage of a dozen different alien species, lashed out with brilliant energy. The flagship's shields flared and died under the unexpected assault. Open a channel to the consortium fleet, Elena commanded. All frequencies. Maya's fingers danced across her console. Channel open. This is Commander Elena Reyes of the Earth Defense Forces vessel Umbra, Elena announced, her voice calm and measured. Your blockade of Earth is in violation of our sovereignty. You have 10 minutes to withdraw your forces or face the consequences. On the view screen, the consortium flagship was already turning, trying to bring its weapons to bear on the suddenly materialized ship. But Umbra was no longer there. Elena had ordered the shadow protocol re-engaged, and they vanished once more into the void between realities. Their communications are going crazy, Maya reported, listening through the whisper core network. They're trying to figure out where we came from and where we went. Position us behind their second command vessel, Elena ordered. Again, Umbra slipped through the fleet unseen, reappearing only to launch another devastating attack before vanishing once more. Their formations are breaking, Dat reported with satisfaction. They're firing randomly, trying to hit us. Keep moving, Elena ordered. Hit and run. Target their command and control systems. For the next hour, Umbra danced through the consortium fleet, a ghost ship that could not be tracked or targeted. Each time it appeared, it struck with precision before disappearing again. The consortium vessels, unable to coordinate their response, began to fire wildly, sometimes hitting their own ships in their confusion. They're pulling back, Kai announced finally. The fleet is retreating. Cheers erupted across Umbra's bridge, but Elena remained focused. Stay alert. This isn't over. As if to confirm her words, a new signal appeared on their communications array. Commander, Maya said, we're being hailed. It's a direct transmission from the consortium's Supreme Command. Elena nodded. Put it through. The view screen flickered, and the image of a tall, angular alien with slate-gray skin and multiple eyes appeared. Elena recognized the species, a hegemony elder, one of the founding races of the consortium. Unknown vessel, the alien's voice was coldly precise. You possess technology that is prohibited by consortium law. Surrender immediately, or we will be forced to take extreme measures. Elena stood, facing the screen. This is Commander Elena Reyes of Earth. We are not part of your consortium. We never agreed to your laws or your technology restrictions. The only reason we have this ship is because you thought we were too primitive to recognize the value of what you were throwing away." The alien's eyes narrowed. Impossible. The whisper cores were all destroyed centuries ago. "Clearly not," Alina replied. "You've been discarding them in our trash for months. Different species, different shipments, but all part of the same plan. Some of your people don't agree with how Earth has been treated. Dissidents," the alien hissed. "Traitors. Visionaries," Alina countered. "They saw what you couldn't, that humanity has potential, that we don't deserve to be your garbage collectors. Your species is aggressive, unpredictable," the alien said. "You cannot be trusted with advanced technology. And yet here we are." Alina gestured around her. "We took your garbage and built something you fear. We didn't start this conflict. You did, by trying to keep us down, by treating us as lesser beings." The alien was silent for a long moment. "What do you want?" "Recognition," Alina said firmly. "Earth is not your dumping ground. We are not your servants. We demand to be acknowledged as equals, with the right to develop our own technology and determine our own destiny. You think one ship gives you the right to make demands?" The alien scoffed. Alina smiled.